What was triggered last month has come home to roost. This is for the Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs of Leo. Welcome to Channel the Future Tarot. Today we're going to do the Tower Tarot spread. It's exactly what it sounds like, but not meant to be alarming. It's kind of meant to be a liberating, enlightening kind of reading. Again, this will be for the Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs of Leo. Take what resonates, toss the universe what doesn't. We're going to use a singing bowl. As you can see, I used the smudge to clear your energy. We're going to use a singing bowl. Doing so, taking that deep breath in and exhaling whenever you feel so inclined to do so will help you kind of balance your energies. Peace, love, health, and wealth, Leo. Well, we are recording this on a very powerful full moon energy in the sign of Libra. So I feel like what a powerful energy to bring the Tower Tarot spread into, action. It's been a really enlightening experience. But before we get into that, we're going to jump into the oracle messages I got while I was kind of meditating on your energy, Leo. And that's what I feel like. There was a real sense of what happened recently, triggered last month there, is coming home to roost, whether it's to be cleared out in this full moon, to sort of acknowledge, the dynamics there. There's something quite apparent. 46 coming apart came out in reverse for you. Now, coming apart already together is exactly what it sounds like, right? You and another situation or person, but there's something is unraveling here and I feel like all your best plans right now are leading into very sticky, tricky energies. And I feel like your challenge is sort of separate, out the elements of this puzzle. I feel like this has already happened for a lot of you. And you could be looking at maybe you've stayed too long in a place or a situation where you didn't belong there anymore. You were maybe seduced by a temporary solution for some of you. But I feel like as you start to untangle your energy, Leo, it's important, you maintain sort of an understanding, a sense of humor as well. You're going to learn something valuable that comes out of this energy. Just breathe and kind of go forward. You got talisman number 49 here. Now exactly what it sounds like. This is a real powerful energy. The wisdom of accepting a truth, understanding what's meant for you. And it's really powerful because there's a lesson that's truly learned in that energy, Leo. Wisdom allows you to recognize the traps, on the road and familiar patterns that you want to avoid next time, right? But it also enables you to quickly gather information about where you are on your journey, right? So recognizing your allies, right? And know where to find the best, routes along the way. But you're in a place where you know the right things to do and the best choices to make right now. You really can't commit a mistake with that energy either. You just have to choose to take those steps, right? You've learned your lessons. You're on the path to success. I feel like you're coming out of a dark energy. You're starting to find hope for, a situation that maybe you seemed quite bleak for you in the past. And it says, as I enter the great school of life, I hold tight to my faith in God or divine. Divine's love guides me and guards me in every situation I encounter. Regardless of what I confront, I trust my true nature. Today, I welcome life. I know the light will always return, and there will always be infinite possibilities for me. Believing in hope, sometimes we get stuck. Like I said, stuck, stagnant, hurt, jaded, and we can't move forward. You got adjustments are required in this third quarter moon here. Powerful stuff. You're making those adjustments kind of on your feet. And I feel like as you start to do so, you're going to see conclusions coming into, being here. Now we're going to just take a look at this tower spread. Now, this is meant to be very, informative and enlightening. But how this is going to break down is cards 1 to 4 will represent the structure. 1 being, what foundational beliefs, principles, or structures are being kind of challenged for you. Why they're being challenged. What you can do to ease this transition. And lastly is kind of what lesson in that is in this shape up for you. Cards 5 to 7 will represent that lightning strike, and 5 will be release, 6 will be rethinking, and 7 will be rebuilding. Then we will clarify them quickly. So let's see what the Tower moment is happening for Leo. Sun, rising, Venus, Sun of Leo. What foundational beliefs, principles, or structures is being challenged for Leo? What is being challenged for Leo? Tower moment happening for Leo. Okay, Seven of Cups, indecision. So whatever you've been sort of multiple choices, I feel like that careful. The universe could be taking away choices and sort of redefining them. If you feel like you got too many options and you're weighing pros and cons, so why is this being challenged for Leo? Why is this being challenged for Leo? Why is this being challenged for Leo? Oh, Six of Swords, because it's a rite of passage moment, okay? It's a redirection, a course correction for some of you. I feel like, and it needs to happen. It's a liberating one. How can Leo ease the transition? How can Leo ease this transition? How can Leo ease the transition? Oh, you got the Tower moment, the Tower card. You're only the second one in this series so far to get it. How you can ease this transition is going with the sort of accepting that Tower moment that's happening. Sort of going with the flow is the best way to accept the chaos and, you know, brace yourself for it, I feel like. What is the lesson in this shakeup for Leo? What's the lesson in the Tower moment for Leo? You know, it's stripping away the people, places, and things that no longer served your purpose, right? What was triggered last month that came home to roost in the form of the Tower moment. And it is going to bring the Seven of Pentacles. Again, there is a sense of, I want to say struggle. You got two sevens out here as well. Each 7 is 14. So, got Temperance energy there, which is quite powerful in that sense. All right, well, we'll break it all down in a second. What does Leo need to release here? What does Leo need to release? You did say, it does say adjustments are required, and that's without a doubt. The Queen of Swords energy. The fight or flight mode keeps coming into being with that Queen of Swords. What you need to release is your rigid way of seeing, you know, this situation in the past, right? Looking at it from that sort of unbiased perspective. What does Leo need to rethink about this Tower moment? What does Leo need to rethink? That Four of Cups, the disappointment, right? The pain, the sort of going over the past, recycling it over and over and over again. The disappointing energy that you know, rejecting also the sense of what's coming in anew. You need to rethink of what's being offered to you at this time, right? It's, you know, you're ignoring an opportunity because you're focused on what's sort of past, right? That's spilled, disappointed, gone. Okay, what can Leo do to rebuild? What is Leo doing to rebuild? You got that 9. Look at that. The 9 of Cups. You're going towards your wish fulfillment. You're building your best life. That's the best end to, you know, the Tower card reading yet, is that wish fulfillment card. You're getting somewhere. You got Judgment on the bottom of the deck there, as well as the Wheel of Fortune, as well as the Seven of Swords. There's a betrayal that, and the Devil, wow. There's a betrayal that lingered and sort of caused a lot of pain and ruckus, probably reoccurring, but it led you to an awakening that some sort of adjustment was definitely necessary in this, the universal power moment that's sort of being sort of concluded for you or brought in. Can we clarify that Seven of Cups for Leo? This is a real purge of you know, all the ways, the rigid ways that you were structured into seeing one situation in the past, that's all changing for you now, Leo. You're getting some new perspective on all things. Can I clarify that Seven of Cups for Leo? Temperance card coming out, and we had the 7 and 7 equal temperance, right? So you have that, again, the need for balancing here, making that choice between head and heart. Can I clarify that 6 of Swords? You know, I feel like too many choices, but most of them aren't, you know, good ones. There's a lot of illusory energy. Going towards the future, setting sail on the, you know, and leaving the past. Look at that. The 4 of Cups comes out again for you. Refusing to see, this is why. You're refusing to see the opportunity. You're focusing too much on the past. It's repeating itself over and over again. And so therefore, that's why the Tower is kind of be initiated for you. If you keep doing the same old thing, you're going to get the same old thing, right? What you've always thought, you have to change this out. It is, you know, powerfully sort of being evident now. Can you take a look at the Tower card for Leo? Clarifying the Tower for Leo. The disappointing, you know, the hurt, this is what finally leads you into this 6 of Swords moment, rite of passage. You know, you get the Magician in reverse to clarify that Tower. You are your alchemist, but you're focusing too much on the Tower, too much on what's being taken away, that you're not manifesting what's your next move or your next, you know, possibility is for you. Can I clarify that 7 of Pentacles? Clarifying that 7 of Pentacles for Leo. Whatever you are just restrictively sort of, I want to say just ignoring there. We got that Moon card coming in reverse. Cancer energy. You're not seeing the truth. The lesson is to see the truth, you know, right in front of your face, in a sense, right? Ignoring what you don't want to see does not help. This is like an ostrich moment. Clarifying that Queen of Swords for Leo, please. Clarifying that Queen of Swords for Leo. And the Tower card comes out again for you. Holy shit into it. Again, this Tower is initiated by thought, clarity. This is what you need to release, the Tower, right? Whatever this is, you're really holding on to firm and strong here in more evident ways. Couldn't make that up if I tried. The 4 of Cups is out twice here as well as the Tower card out twice for you, Leo. It's the pain, the disappointment of the past is what's being stripped away without a flippant doubt here. The 4 of Pentacles to clarify the 4 of Cups. You got 444 and powerfully angel numbers out for you as well. So put that in. That could be useful for you in terms of healing. Can I clarify that 9 of Cups? You finish out strong. This Tower moment's happening with or without your blessing. It's just happening, so hang on. And we have that King of Cups, mastering your emotions here. So you're sort of coming full circle. You're moving through that pain, that disappointment. You're getting grounded. And it's a good energy for you, the 9 of Wands. You're sort of moving past, like I said, the pain. What's been restricted from you because you've been sort of allowing it to be in that sense. Not moving past the pain. Not even wanting to take a look at it. And we've all been in those moments, but the 7 of Cups sort of is a reminder here that we can learn to harness the power of what we really want and notice if there's some sort of choice involved in what's being imagined here for you. But take whatever you're consulting and come up with an ending in which the best possible things happen instead of the worst, right? Obviously. But with me, I feel like this is an energy where that's what's being, your lack of decision making. The Temperance card coming in to clarify that is saying, okay, you haven't, that's why it's being stripped away. You haven't made any foundational choices towards your best foot forward. Neglecting your well-being and your thoughts, or you're trying to discover how to create balance and harmony in your life, and you're kind of too many choices, and you can't find alignment, right? That sense of peace within your external surroundings. That's because you're not meant to in the external surroundings. You're meant to move past it, right? And leave this part of your, journey behind. Not everybody, person, place, or thing is meant to come with us on our journey. And this is a sense of you understanding that this is time for you to part ways with this person, place, or thing. When we look at under the hood of the patterns that don't serve us, it's the Six of Swords, right? It's common to find a current of feelings that we've been trying to avoid, right? To break a pattern often involves more than an awareness of the pattern itself, but also that willingness to, feel things we've been previously willing to not, right? The Six of Swords kind of calls to mind that sort of exercise from, acceptance. It's sort of, I feel like right now, a metaphor is meant to help you recognize, well, it may be sort of not possible to get rid of the difficult, internal experiences to kick them off our, bus, so to speak. It's possible to get a better at bringing them, along for the ride, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Embrace the crazy, essentially. And without letting them boss you around. So you're kind of embracing what's truly, difficult and internally encumbering in the past, and use it kind of, don't allow it to hinder your life, use it to shape your life, right? Use it to transform your life, not to make you bitter but better. And that's what I feel like you're learning how to do. The Four of Cups, you're learning to turn that disappointment, that pain of the past, into something much more purposeful, much more, with intent. So you're not, singing the same old song, doing the same old dance here. There's an offer, an opportunity that is coming to you, and you haven't previously seen it, because you're saying no. You're contemplating your next steps. You're focusing on what's important to you right now, but you're not really seeing this Tower moment saying this is what's important to you, for you to focus on what's being presented to you. You keep ignoring what you say you inevitably want. So that's kind of, a powerful message for you at this time, right? But I feel like the core motivating force for all human behavior, they say, is anxiety, and that our personalities are essentially a collection of habits and strategies that we could gather over time. When I first heard this, I was like, through the development of personality, it's likely that we sort of develop some complex ideas and thoughts, what we hope to anyway. But it's in those symbols or those traits and behaviors which function as a sort of buffer against the anxiety of living, right? Now hear me out, okay? But if you realize that anxiety itself isn't that dangerous, that's in fact our pattern of avoidance tends to create problems beyond what's actually a problem, right? There's a natural pain of living in the walls that we built around ourselves. From this perspective, it's as if like you're sort of in that falling tower, right? And it could actually be a good and liberating thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So maybe the tower, maybe we built those tower walls in a time when we thought it was a threat to us, right? Whatever we perceived, anxiety, stress, relationships, whatever it was, as a threat to us. But you've learned that you can both tolerate and learn from it, right? You've gone through it. So once that tower kind of falls, you've released that goal of avoiding it, so you're free to pursue the visions that aren't about the absence and discomfort of the pursuit, but actually what's in the rebuilding of it, the stuff that makes worth living, right? Good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. We can't all have that, you know what I'm saying? So you're learning how to that this tower moment is a restructuring, a purposeful restructuring for you. It's supposed to be devastatingly crushing on your soul. And as you kind of understand that, Leo, this week, I feel like there's something really transformational in that, because you're learning to turn that pain into one hell of a damn power, and you're learning to sort of, move past all that tower moment, and you're discovering what you want to manifest without taking action quite yet, like I said. So you're uncertain if you have the tools you need. That's fine. You're regathering them, from this tower moment. But you're focusing on the what and it is that you're trying to create. And I think that's, a positive first step, right? The Seven of Pentacles, well, that's a positive first step as well. So you're focusing on money and wealth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, good stuff. But you're not only focusing on that, you're focusing on what went wrong in terms of money or wealth in the past, what you maybe want to change in terms of that. But, it's often that we can never get enough of what you don't really need, but figuring out what we truly require can feel like it's impossible. Do you know what I'm saying? You're sifting poppy seeds from the dirt, essentially. Learning to be truthful about what you need often begins without not actually knowing, and a willingness to see with some honest, exploration. It's trial and error and terror and tribulation, and it's even considered failure, but it's a vital part of the process, and you're learning that. You're learning that this tower has been a vital part of your process, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. The moon card coming to clarify that in reverse. This is your time. It is quite powerful for you because this moon is not here to sort of in reverse to break you out of this energy, but I feel like it's sort of to really move you past it. You're diving into sort of Mercury depths of your own inner sort of most mind, but again, there's a lot of fear, anxiety, and confusion. You need to go deeper to the core of these emotions to release this fear, and then that's when things start to happen. That's when you get to the nitty gritty. This Queen of Swords, yeah, it's time for you to get to the nitty gritty. You're really looking at all the intellectual parts of this, and through this Tower moment, it's the clarifying energy again. So the Tower's, is really coming from your own thought processes. How you analyze this Tower will make it or break it for you in some ways. What you thought were solid foundations, they're crashing in this energy. Destruction, they're chaos, they're rampant. But it's a good sort of chaos. Destruction is these events are happening for you and not to you. These are new paradigms and opportunities that are emerging. You need to see it for what it is. You need to see this opportunity in this Four of Cups that again is being presented to you through job, wealth, some sort of information. Something here is don't turn it away and snub your nose because you're so focused on, rebuilding from this nasty shit that you went through. Let that go and start that rebuilding. That's going to lead you to your Nine of Cups, your wish fulfillment. And the quicker you embrace it, the faster it's going to come. And that's why you're working on this mastering of your emotions. This is a liberating time, an awakening time. But what was triggered last month is coming sort of home to roost for you to clear it out and say goodbye. Until next time, namaste.